Hello, my name is Erin Mayer. I teach sixth grade physical science and seventh grade life science at Casey Middle School, and I am your child's teacher for this year. So, welcome. Just really quickly to point out, my contact information is down here in the bottom left corner. You can email me at any time, or you can call me on my or text me on my cell phone, and I will respond as soon as I can. So, these four words really describe what our science classroom is about. So, we are about doing science, so kind of digging in and figuring out science with our hands, exploring different concepts and ideas. It's a very collaborative classroom, so kids are working together to figure things out, and ultimately, we're trying to sense make. So, we are trying to use science to understand the world around us. We use something called three-dimensional learning in science class, and this comes from the Next Generation Science Standards. So, in the Next Generation Science Standards, which Colorado has adopted, we focus on three things. We focus on science and engineering practices, so those are listed over here. So, those are what the kids are actually doing to figure out science. We focus on disciplinary core ideas. This is what students know. So, this is like your traditional idea of content standards. And finally, we focus on cross-cutting concepts. So this is kind of how students think to make sense of all these ideas. So they're kind of big themes that connect everything together. So that is how the classroom is organized. I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about our structures and our systems that we have in place in the science classroom. So before we dig into that, though, I wanted to share this graphic from George Couros about learning. So over here on the left side, we can see this like straight line trajectory. So this is demonstrating what people think learning looks like. You're trying to get from point A to point B, and it's a nice, even path. Where in reality, this is what learning really looks like. We're still trying to get from point A to point B, but it's messy, right? And every kid's experience is a little bit different, and we go off course, and we come back, and we figure out some other things, and then eventually we put it all together, and we get to our end goal. So the structures and the systems that I have in place really reflect this idea that learning is messy, and we're trying to allow for that to happen. So let's start off with these three basic classroom systems: proficiency-based, self-paced, and blended. So proficiency-based, I do not give grades in this class. I give feedback. And along with that feedback, the kids will always know, are they proficient on something, which means they understand, they've shown me what they need, what I want them to understand from a learning activity, or are they not proficient yet? And the yet is the really important part of not proficient yet. So if they are not proficient yet, then they are not done learning. And so they will go back and keep working with those ideas and working on those activities until they can show me that they understand whatever the targets were. We are self-paced, and the self-paced piece allows for kids to go back and continue to work on things until they understand. This is just an example of a progress tracker that the kids will be using this year to really understand where they are and what they need to work on in class. So these would be some examples of different activities. And then we have a key over here. All the students are up top, so the different colors mean different things. So students always have access to this, and they know exactly what they need to do when they walk into the classroom. And I will be sharing this with families too as we move forward. Finally, our classroom is what is called blended. So because kids are moving at their own pace based on how much time they need to work through ideas, I have all of the different learning activities already set up for them on our Schoology page so that they can move from one activity to the next. Now, they're not on the computers all the time. This is just sort of Schoology is like our hub where I can give them directions, and they can submit work when it's more formal so that they can continue to move on at their own pace. So I'd like to take a moment to talk about some of the classroom structures I have in place to support those classroom systems I just mentioned. These include student talk, student reflection, and tools. Throughout the year, I spend a lot of time really shifting or working towards shifting how kids approach learning in the classroom. And part of this is really intentional words that I use with kids. So they will not hear me say words like grading or score. Instead, it will always be things like assessing or I've assessed you or feedback. We're going to move from saying, what grade did I get, to what did I actually learn? What did I figure out? From this is wrong to I'm still working on this. Like I'm trying to figure these things out. Um, they won't there won't be judgment or criticism. Everything will be feedback focused, so feedback that they can take and do something with. Again, focusing away from getting good grades to really figuring things out and achieving proficiency on ideas. And then I also don't use the word assignments. I use the word learning activity again to focus on the idea that this is about learning. We're trying to figure things out. A second structure is there will be lots of student reflection opportunities for on their learning. So I had mentioned before that I do not give grades. At the end of every learning expedition, which is what I call a unit, the students will be reflecting on their own learning and they will be assigning themselves a grade that really they think represents their learning. And they're going to be pulling in evidence to support that grade and then explaining how that evidence actually supports that letter grade. But again, the focus is on the learning, not the grade itself. So those are the only grades that you will see in the Infinite Campus Gradebook. Those will be things that the kids have decided upon. Um, Finally, I just wanted to really quick mention the tools that we use. So the main tool that we're going to use is Schoology. So Schoology really acts like our hub. It's a place where all of the activities are housed so that students can access them at any time that they need them. And then they'll be doing the hands-on investigations and collaborative discussions in class. Schoology also has a pretty strong parent component to it. So, as you think about how to support your child's learning journey this year, Schoology is a really good place to start that. So, I have put together a really brief presentation for parents at this URL address right here, and I'm always happy to sit down and have share a Google Meet, and I can walk you through the Schoology platform from a parent's perspective. So, I'm going to wrap things up so I don't take too much of your time. Again, I'm really excited and looking forward to this year. It's been a great start to the school year, and it's great to have kids back in class, share a Google Meet, and I can walk you through the Schoology platform from a parent's perspective. So, I'm going to wrap things up so I don't take too much of your time. Again, I'm really excited and looking forward to this year. It's been a great start to the school year, and it's great to have kids back in class. Again, please feel free to reach out to me at any time this year if you have any comments or questions or concerns. Email or text me, and take care.